Hi everyone, I wanted to let you know that now you can get 14 days free trial in my online studio where you can come in and check it out, try out some of the videos, the different programs, and the journeys that we have going on. If you're interested, you can just click the link below in the description, and that's it. Soma also is very excited, as you can see. I personally find it very, very difficult to set boundaries with people. It's either an open field or an electric fence that shocks those who come close. I swing between these two extremes, but have difficulty finding the middle ground. For example, when my housemate catches me in the kitchen and goes on to unload on me with stories and emotions that I'm not ready to take on at that moment, I will listen, but avoid her for days. I do love listening to people. However, sometimes I am not a full cup. I've tried to set boundaries, but sometimes they're not taken seriously. And I want to know how you've experienced this and your advice to set gentle but firm boundaries. So personally, I've really experienced this. In my life, I can really resonate. I have not been able and knowledgeable in the past on what even is a boundary and how to set them. So I am grateful for your question. It's something that I've worked on for a long time and still continue to work on. And I just want to say, first of all, if you have the experience of not knowing how to set boundaries, then it's a very difficult thing to work with that takes time. First of all, it's getting to know for yourself what even are your boundaries and what a boundary is to you, what it means to you. And just even this part of the process takes time and introspection to understand what a boundary means to you. If you've never set boundaries, then it's common to swing. Like you said it so well. It was like you're either an open field or an electric fence. So when we're learning anything new, that's a very common experience, is to swing from one extreme to another extreme. And it can be like a pendulum, this process that gradually, as you get to know either extreme and the reactions contained there or the side effects of swinging to those extremes, we can gradually find the middle. Finding the middle doesn't mean that you stay in the middle and that you then suddenly, understand perfectly how to set boundaries. Every circumstance is different, and life is continuously teaching us. So one thing that has really helped me when I was experiencing this inability to set boundaries, what was happening is, I very much relate to your open field or electric fence. I would be experiencing a kind of fatigue or irritation or a feeling that would arise in these moments, and I wouldn't express it. And so it would build and build and build up inside of me until one day or one moment, I would just finally be the electric fence and set this like really kind of harsh boundary. And the opposite way that I was relating to people was just very much like an open field, like, yeah, da, 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 until I would become an electric fence. And so one thing that really helped me, like really, really helped me, but it wasn't easy to do, and it's something that I still practice, but I'm so much better at it, is that I learned that as soon as I start to feel the feeling inside, that is that feeling of a boundary of mine needing to be established, instead of ignoring that feeling, because for a while I was just ignoring the feeling and staying as an open field, instead of that, right away acknowledging it. Like the moment you feel it, acknowledge it. And do your best. So I would do my best to communicate whatever it was, right away. um, Before it became such a pressurized emotion, or before it became the electric fence. So I would say that start to really become aware and monitor your inner feedback, so that the moment you feel that feeling, you acknowledge it and you can communicate it. Because the other way, it's that we're not communicating our boundaries, but it becomes more of a reaction. And then that is shocking for people. Um, Another thing that I would say is to really inquire into yourself around, do you have any fears around setting boundaries, or letting people down, or saying no? Um, any discomforts with that, and go into that inside of yourself, like, where could that have come from? And ask your mind to show you the earliest memories that you can discover. Because when we get to know really what we're afraid of in any way, we can then embrace those fears. We're then cultivating self-knowledge. And then the charge around setting boundaries can diffuse, it can diminish. The fear can soften, or rather, it might still be there, but it's not the thing that's controlling your behavior. When it's in the subconscious mind and we're not fully aware of what it is that we're really afraid of, there's a tendency for that fear, whatever it is, to really like control our behavior. It's almost like a co-pilot or something. So inquire into your discomforts and your fears around saying no to other people. Are you afraid of letting people down? Why? What are your concerns around that? And really inquire, like keep digging into that. Journal. I always talk about journaling. And the reason why is that I am a huge believer that our innate wisdom is the healer. We can receive advice. I can share with you my experience, and that's helpful. Or you can, get advice from other people, and it's super helpful and it's important. And it's important also that we all can relate to each other and feel okay about what it is we're going through. We know other people are going through that, so that then can like soften the inner kind of pressure and guilt or shame or whatever it is that we feel. But ultimately, in my experience, my change really occurs when I connect to what's really happening for me, connect to my own inner wisdom. So journaling helps with this, because you get to sort through all of the different types of narratives that are going on, all of the stories, all of the beliefs. And then you can take a step just behind that and ask yourself, like, okay, what is the truth here? Or one thing I like to ask myself to connect with my inner wisdom is like, okay, well, what is the most graceful way of dealing with this? Or are these narratives that I'm believing, are they true? And if they're not true, then what is the truth? So journaling helps to clear the mind, because you're getting everything on paper. It creates a space for being non-judgmental. You just let all the pieces of yourself be explored, be seen. And you can approach it all as though you are just on a journey here to learn, and you want to learn from every little bit of info that you can get in touch with inside of yourself. And through all of that, you start to build a stronger bond with your inner wisdom. And this is, in my experience, one of the most powerful ways to really create change that's lasting. It's through understanding yourself, understanding where these things come from. This understanding is compassion. Then instead of kind of putting ourselves down for certain things, we can be softer with ourselves. Like, oh, okay, I understand why I do that, whatever it is, because when I was young, I learned this thing and it's carried forth this behavior. Okay. And then we have compassion and we can really work with ourselves in a way that's softer and healthier and more productive rather than trying to like fix something. Yeah, my next point was to be gentle with yourself. It's a process. So really, it's a process. All of it is. And instead of trying to fix it, you know, tomorrow or yesterday, allow yourself time to explore, to get to know yourself, to accept that all of it is a process, like learning a language. And so approach anything that you're trying to work on, just like you would approach learning a language. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes experience.